ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and this is Just Plain Living. How you doing? And they right
Good
over
morning.
here.
Hi, I'm Peggy Burton.
And I'm Jim Fuller.
And it's just we three right now.
It's just we three. Lauren is over at the radio station this morning doing some work.
Our media partner, Fantasy 101.5.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. She's over there.
She's supposed to be over there talking about us.
I hope she is. I hope she's saying good things.
I do too.
We had fun on Tennessee Traveler last night. We had
What
a big
happened?
time. Oh, we just had a big time.
Good.
We gave a bunch of good deals.
Great.
We've got people bowling for just about free and eating for just about free. You folks, if you
think
haven't watched
everybody knows
that
what
show,
time that is?
that's 7 o'clock every Monday night. That's Tennessee Traveler, where we do discount coupons on everything from food to golf to lodging to whatever we can find.
Well, it's a good time to get coupons because Christmas is coming. You can use that for gifts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, they're good for 30 days, so you need to wait until December to buy
to
those.
take it as a gift.
To buy those, I guess.
I wouldn't mind getting one as a gift early, would you?
I don't know.
It could be a Thanksgiving
exactly.
gift.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, of course, after Thanksgiving and you've done all that cooking and cleaning and everything, and you don't want to deal with it, shoot, go somewhere else and eat. Cheap.
You're right. Especially if you get a
Cheap. Well, it's
coupon
half price or less.
Sure.
Yeah.
Those are
at
good
least,
deals.
At least.
You
So,
have lots of different people doing that from different cities
Sure.
around.
Last night we did the Iron Kettle in Lynchburg, and we gave our deal last night. We always have one or two really good deals during the show. It was $20 worth of food for $5.
Wow. What a
So
that is
yeah,
a
I
deal.
mean,
But see, I don't
it's a great deal.
I don't get charter out at my
At your
country house.
At your country estate.
at my country estate, so I don't know what's going on half the time.
Peggy lives out in the country estate. If you don't believe it, you get out there at the right time when the pigs are up on the hill.
There you go.
You know it's a country
You know what?
estate.
I got rid of the white cat at least for a week.
Did you?
A lady from Woodbury. This is a cute story. My daughter loves cats, and she was going through Woodbury, and she saw us. She had to stop to get groceries, and there was a big picture on the wall of this beautiful white cat. And it had two different colored eyes, and it looked white cats look a lot alike. But anyway, it was a lost white cat. So my daughter calls the lady, and the lady calls me, and of course it's really not her cat. It's hard to walk a cat from Woodbury to Tullahoma. But
Depends on what it's following.
her daughter fell in love with the cat, so at least for this week, the cat has gone to visit that family to see if she'll fit in.
I bet.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
Stay.
Yeah, it is.
It is good.
That's the white cat
And
story.
you miss the cat?
Not a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, my black cat hated the white cat.
Oh, so you have a cat anyway.
Yeah, I have two cats. And anyway, my black cat is now back in the window instead of the white cat wanting to come in. Anyway,
So the black cat's happy.
The black cat's happy.
Very good. Very good.
How come we have an extra mic on the
I think that would
Because
be
that's
Lauren.
Lawrence.
That would be Lauren's. Okay, I just wondered if we
I
went
did
this
think of
far
opening
into the
a cat
show.
house.
We went. We've
What was that
gone this
again?
far into the show, and there's Lauren's mic sitting there. Well, now it's gone.
You know,
That's
as typically it is, you guys had this great conversation going on before we went to came on the air here.
Oh, yeah.
We decided we're not going to Happy Valley, right?
No.
We're not going.
There's so
leave it
much
alone.
crazy. There's so much crazy stuff going on. It is just absolutely insane in this world, and what is news, and how far news gets taken.
Oh, yeah.
It's just.
Well, it's what the public buys. Otherwise, the news wouldn't keep saturating us with this garbage. Is that right?
But it all has to be. It all has to be hugely volatile
News.
type stuff, and they search, and if they can't find something, they take
dig it
something.
up.
Well, they take something and make something that might not be real volatile into something volatile.
Well, I hate to put down all the news, because all the news is not that way.
No, we're
all
news.
the news, we're news, and all the news isn't that way. But there is a lot of just carrying on and on about the same subject. Doesn't that bother you?
Yeah, Herman Cain has been getting a
Poor
lot.
Herman.
Yeah, I mean, they've been wearing him out for the
I know,
last 2
he's
weeks.
just worn down. I saw his wife on one of the talk
And we were
shows.
commenting before we came on the air, we're not sure that people even care about that.
I know.
Because,
I really don't.
They were on Bill Clinton for 8 years, and he left office.
Still on Bill Clinton.
And he left office with a 70% approval rating. Now, I guess that means people don't
It
care
must
about
mean
that.
something. And I have to say one thing. If somebody's harassing me, I'm going to let them know. I'm not going to put up with it, you know, and then that'd be the end of it.
Yeah.
That's what I think. If you're an adult,
Yeah.
children, it's a different story. If you're an adult, just say, I don't need this, or walk away. If there's some stuff going on you don't want to be a part of, just walk out.
You know,
No,
but
yes.
you know, then you get into the fact if you just walk away,
You lose your
then
job.
down the road it can be your fault because you didn't do something,
Well-
but just walk away.
And I guess if it's your superior, the person that's in charge of you, and you're a young person and you need the job, but still, I would walk away.
Yeah,
I
sure.
would walk.
You know, when I first moved to Atlanta to run that hotel down there, I was a 21-year-old, just started out in management,
Yeah.
and there was this 35-year-old woman who was kind of my supervisor.
Did she harass you?
She harassed me, and I loved it.
You loved every minute
I
of it,
loved
didn't
every
you?
minute of it.
You didn't walk away, did you?
That's right. That's right.
You said when.
I don't think I'm scarred for life or nothing.
Not at all. You could
If
have
you- if you
done
are, you
that all
hide
by
'em.
yourself.
Yeah.
You've hidden them well.
you
Yeah, that's right.
Hidden them well.
Yeah.
No, the thing about it is you think about when we were growing up. And of course, as all of you out there know, we're old. You had the news like twice a day. The news was in the morning.
That's right.
The news
And-
was
and
at
you look
night.
forward
A
to finding-
newspaper came out in the morning. Another newspaper came out at night if you were in a city,
That's right.
or once a week or 3 times a week. Now, news is
Constant.
24/7,
24/7.
and it's in front of people, on their computers. By lunchtime, if the news media doesn't have new news, what they have is stale, and people are leaving and going and finding something new. So they're constantly in search of the next story, whatever it is.
Whatever it happens to
Be it good or bad, you know. But the bad seems to be what comes more to the top.
Oh, sometimes.
You know, and it's amazing how times have changed, because a lot of times now, you know, we used to get delivery. We used to get the Tennessean and the Nashville Banner here in Tullahoma. Now it's only the Tennessean. But, you know, they quit delivering the Tennessean to your home.
If you want it, you got to go
and
buy
now
it.
I find myself a lot of times, if I'm stopping by the store, that you know, depending on how much time I think I'm going to have, I won't buy that because I don't have time to read it.
You don't have time to read
and
it. You've already had your coffee.
Yeah, and at that point, and then you start thinking, well, you know, I can find out what I need to know on the internet.
Exactly.
So, you know.
And if they're not on the internet, you know, the Tennessean's on the internet, I'm sure.
It is.
It is.
It is.
Almost
You know, you can
anything
find
is on
those
the internet.
writers that you like, and that's the thing about a newspaper. There's people that you're familiar with, Joe Biddle and guys who have written for years, Bob Sherborne, from Tullahoma, who used to write in the Nashville papers. You know, that you want to read what they have to say because you trust and respect
Exactly, what they
their
have to say.
opinion, because they're studied, researched journalists who do their job to put out something that's credible.
Well, and I, for one, like to sit down with a cup of coffee and the newspaper in front of me,
Yeah.
you know, rather than
Yeah.
having to go to the computer to dial it up. So
Or
I miss
your
the
Kindle.
daily news. Yeah.
Your Kindle, you know, you're flipping the page with your finger. You know? people like to touch stuff.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
They like to touch stuff. You
We
know,
have the
but
fire chief on our show today.
you're kind of partial to him too, aren't
I
you?
am. I have loved him since he was a Nitnoy.
Nitnoy.
Hey, what?
Our fire chief was a Nitnoy at one time, folks. I want you to remember that.
But he was always ambitious and always on top of things.
Sure.
Yeah, and he
Exactly.
called me at the
There's no
last
doubt.
moment today about this show, and because I had fully intended the next time he was on this show for any reason to play that clip we have of him singing "Hunka Hunka Burning Love" on the telethon back when he was a mere fireman
Yeah,
and
you're
wasn't
just not
the
gonna
chief.
let that go, are
No,
you?
I can't. I can't.
let
you
it
know,
go.
I fully intend to use it the next time he came on, but I didn't have time today. He called me at the last minute.
Back when he was a mere fireman, developer, entrepreneur, and
There you go.
businessman,
Right.
and
Right.
Nitnoy.
And the Nitnoy, yeah.
And I haven't looked at that clip in quite some time, but it must have been pretty bad because his wife took him out of the show. After that, she never permitted him to be on the show anymore. So anyway.
That's pretty cool, though, a fire chief being a hunk of burning love.
Yeah, I think so.
It worked out well.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, there's a couple of things I'd like to mention while we're sitting here before we get started today. The Motlow College is hosting their fall concert, and this is 17th, which is Thursday night, and it's at 7 o'clock. It's at Oaf Hall, and it's their Christmas fall kind of a deal with a jazz twist, and they have a guest soloist from the Nashville Blues Society, a lady who is going to be singing, and they have a guest pianist there as well. And November the 26th, for all of you folks out there, this is a very, very important announcement. It is Shop Small Saturday.
Shop Small.
And that means just anywhere that you are, and they're asking for everybody to go to a small business, every person to go to a small business and buy at least one item.
That's a good thing to do.
You know, go not a big box store, go to a mom and pop and buy something, one item from a small business. They're calling it Shop Small Saturday.
And what's the date?
It's the 26th of November is Shop Small Saturday.
Well, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And of course, we want you to spend all your money you can at home because of the tax dollars and helping your local businesses who live here and try to make a living in your town where you are. And it's very important that that happens for them and for us. And Jerry Harris, what a horse.
What a horse.
What a horse asked me to let you know that the Cradle of the Tennessee Walking Horse invites you to Night at the Museum. That also is November the 17th from 5 till 8 o'clock at the new home of the Tennessee Walking Horse National Museum in downtown Wartrace, Tennessee. So they have moved the museum.
There.
Well, no, they haven't. It used to.
No, it's moved from Lynchburg, yeah.
But it's moved there.
It's moved to Wartrace because that's where the walking horse industry started.
Well, that's going to do
and that's where Strolling Jim is.
How good.
Strolling Jim is strolling under some dirt down there in Wartrace, behind a hotel.
Very good.
You need to be careful with that now. We'll have some of our friends in Shelbyville wanting to assassinate us over there.
Why?
If we're making light of Strolling Jim.
Well, I'm not making light of him. He's not standing, he's buried.
There you go. Yes.
We better go to commercial break.
I'm sorry, folks. We'll be right back after these messages.
Why Traders Bank?
The convenience of 5 locations near you.
2695 Deckard Boulevard, Winchester. 1207 Hillsborough Boulevard, Manchester. 1602 North Main Street, Shelbyville. 412 West Lincoln Street, Tullahoma. 120 North Jackson Street, Tullahoma. Why Traders Bank?
The service of 61 friendly, knowledgeable employees meeting your banking needs.
We're Traders Bank in Winchester. Come see us. We're Traders Bank in Manchester. Come see us. We're Traders Bank in Shelbyville. Come see us.
We're Traders Bank on West Lincoln Street in Tullahoma. Come see us.
We're Traders Bank. Come see us.
Why Traders Bank?
The stability of 122 years, locally owned and operated, banking under the same name.
Traders Bank.
Why Traders Bank? Because you're welcome here.
Traders Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
These are the children who had no chance. They're known as Brazil street kids. They wander the streets dying by the thousands from drugs, AIDS, and bullets. Most of them have been abandoned, left to survive on their own. These children needed a place to go. I had to do something. So I brought it up at Rotary. People heard about what we were doing and asked how they could help. Together, we raised funds to give them a home and open the school. They're learning a trade. Now hundreds of kids have a family and a future. They're contributing to the community. because Rotary believes in making things better for everyone.
Rotary is making a difference right now.
They have hope.
Rotary gives people an opportunity to help.
All right, folks, we're back, and one thing we always try to do each week, is to thank the Flower Shop, and they're located on Blackwell Street right here in Tullahoma, for all the things they've done for us for the past 19 years that we've been on the air here in Tullahoma. And Janie and Kathy and Julie and Tommy and all of those fine gals down there, Kenny, Teddy, not that they're gals, but they're fine folks too. Have helped us with our sets, with our decorations throughout the years. We appreciate them, and we went down to their open house. Oh, and by the way, here's a book that they have, and it is the Flower Shop Holiday Open House Savories and Sweets. It's a little cookbook that they have down there at the shop of all of the things that they've served at the open house over the last years. I think this was their probably their 25th or 30th anniversary of the Flower Shop's open house. So yeah, 30 open houses since 1981. But you can get this at the Flower Shop, find out how to make all that good stuff, and we're going to go now to a little video I took down there. It's where you need to go for all your holiday needs, your flowers, gifts, everything. They're fine folks down there. We just love them and know you will too. Let's go to the Flower Shop. As always, the Flower Shop is full today. Lovely people looking at lovely things. Simply
We'd have to go home and measure.
Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Holiday time in Tullahoma, and that's the Flower Shop. And it's wild and woolly in here at the Flower.
I've been thinking about getting that to put my coffee in.
Bob was in the car. Hello there, girls. It's Christmas time. At the Flower Shop. Look at there. Look at that bunch of little good-looking girls right there.
Thank you. Can you believe how big they've
They're
got?
big. They got feathers in their hair.
Yeah, that's right.
Nancy, where are your feathers?
I'm too old for feathers. No, you're never too old for feathers and sparkles.
Look at all the snowmen.
Did you really?
Aren't those something? Snowmen of every size in the world.
Champagne.
Right.
And that's kind of what they want.
At the Flower Shop. Isn't that pretty?
We were kidding here at work. I think a blue jay feather out in the yard. I don't need to pay for there.
Ho, ho, ho. Here's another section of Santa Claus and reindeers and mooses. Look at those. Look at those wonderful snowmen. Aren't those something? And then all kinds of beautiful, distinctive ornaments. Angels and sprinkles and sparkles and all kinds of decorative things to put around your house at the Flower Shop. Look at that happy Christmas tree right there. Isn't he something? Here's the moose collection right here.
Well, I have to go my own stocking, so I can...
Where's Bullwinkle? Yep, folks, here we are back at the room that really counts right here.
Oh, you better
There's my buddy Kenny Pack. How's everything going, partner?
John, you?
Doing well. Great open house today.
Have a good crowd.
Good stuff. You got me some good food over there today?
Table full.
I'm getting ready to show it right now. What is that?
New cookbook. The Flower Shop was put together for the 30th anniversary.
Wonderful. 30th anniversary cookbook. We'll see if we can sell some of them. All right. The table is always great at the Flower Shop. You can see some of these fine dips and hors d'oeuvres and different types of cheeses and cookies, and it's always wonderful. And this year they've developed a cookbook, as Kenny said, to let you know how to make all these great things that you get at the Flower Shop open house.
Come see us
Shop.
I'm Lori Thompson.
And I'm Mike Thompson, and we own Thompson Ford in Tullahoma, Tennessee. Lori and I bought the dealership back. It's on Highway 55. Same dealership that we had for 10 years. Look forward to serving you for another 10. Thank you to the community. Thank you for allowing us to be here for the last 15 years. Thank you for having us raise our family here.
Thank you for all your support.
It's been a great place. It's a great place to live. Look forward to living here. Put me in the ground here. I'd be proud to do it. God bless America, and God bless Tennessee.
Our office used to look like this, but now with My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young, it's easy. We've made all of our files electronic and stored them in our virtual filing cabinet, which gave us tons of space. And Bob here, a big promotion. Melissa can pull files in minutes and spends hours on Facebook. And Kyle's confidential files stay confidential.
We're not totally paper-free, right?
My Paper-Free Office from R.J. Young. It's that easy.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're pleased to have joining us on the set now, the hunka burning love himself, Mr. Richard Chastain, our fire chief. I just had to get that in.
I appreciate you.
Richard and I were talking, and I brought this up a number of times about his appearance on the telephone. Richard thinks that was somewhere back around 1990. That was 20 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Today's a special day for someone. Before we get into our subject matter here today.
Well, I would like to wish my mother a happy birthday. Saturday, November the 19th. She will be 80 years old. And I would encourage anyone that would like to call her. Her home number is 455-2295, and her cell phone is 581-7622. So I encourage you to call her and wish her a happy birthday. She'll be 80 Saturday.
Okay,
so thank you for that.
That's Bobby Chastain, folks, and a lot of us remember Bobby. Saw her not too long ago. She's just as spry as she ever was. I'm telling you what, sharp as a tack. So give her a call. Give them that number again.
581-7622 or 455-2295. Call early and call often.
Okay. So
I am dead meat.
I know. I know. Well, she can be proud. She's raised a good son here, you know.
My brother is a good guy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. In case you don't know, his brother is Scott Chastain, the voice of the Tullahoma Wildcats, by the way.
That's right.
Richard is here today, though, to talk about Toys for Tots, I think, which is coming up.
A little more serious. We do have the Toys for Tots program with the Tullahoma Fire Department for over 40 years. And we're kicking off that fundraiser this time of year. We try to raise around $20,000. We'll be helping about 800 children in the city limits of Tullahoma with toys to help the season be a little brighter for them.
Okay.
We'll have sign-ups starting December the 1st at 9 a.m. at Fire Station Number 1 on South Jackson Street, and it'll be the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, which is a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then the toys will be available for pickup on December 23rd. So we always have great support. In the past, we've done a roadblock on the day after Thanksgiving, but we don't do that anymore. We just have to depend on people to call us. We'll go pick up donations. We take cash. Cash is always good.
Yes.
And we can go buy toys. And we actually are able to buy more toys than a normal person because we get a discount. Walmart gives us a real good discount. And we also get tax exempt because we're involved with the United States Marine Corps and their Toys for Tots program. So we're a 501c3.
Right.
So we can get about a 30% off of any toy we purchase.
And that makes a huge difference, I bet, in this
yes,
market
sir.
today.
It does, and then sometimes they'll throw in, you know, we buy 3, they'll throw 1 in or something. So cash is really good. We encourage businesses to have fundraisers within the business. Maybe if they're having a Christmas party, instead of exchanging gifts, you know, maybe bring a gift for a child, and it gives you a good feeling inside to help. And there's no expense. You know, we do it all while we're on duty. If we're not training or fighting fires, we're working on the Toys for Tots program during this time of year.
How bad did this? There was a change in the city ordinance, I think, that prohibits you guys from doing that anymore. How much of your funds were raised through that roadblocks?
Normally, we raised about $4,500 in about 3 hours. So it was a really good fundraiser for the department, for the program. But it did present a certain risk for our firefighters being out in the road, because we, of course, you know, the busier the intersection, the more money you can raise, but the more risk involved. And actually, last year we raised more money than the year before when we had the roadblock. So
really?
you know how Tullahoma people are.
Yeah.
They just make it happen.
Right.
And we actually had more money last year to spend without the roadblock. I think I came on this show and we were a little bit down, and that was within a couple of days we'd raised $4,000. Just people driving up out front, blowing the horn. The firemen will run out there and they'll hand them a check or hand them $20 or hand them a toy. And we had a really, really great year last year. Unfortunately, we had a lot of children that needed help because a lot of families were suffering. Several families that had never signed up before were forced to sign up to get assistance.
I was going to ask you that. You know, we've been in a stagnant economy here now for 3 or 4 years. Has that increased dramatically, the number of people that you have to help?
It has to a certain extent. However, we tightened up the criteria for signing up. So, you know, in the past we may have had some people that might not have been as needy or as forthright with the information, and now we require that you live in the city limits, that you have proof of residency in the city limits, and that you bring the birth certificate or a Social Security card for each child. And then we investigate and check each one that signed up to make sure, you know, grandpa and daddy and uncle are not all signing up for the same child.
Right.
Because that would tax us tremendously. And we want to make sure everybody gets a good amount of toys, and we put in candy and fruit and other stuff also.
You know, it's amazing, and that kind of brings a smile to my face, because I was involved with Big Brothers, American Legion Big Brothers, for many, many years. And I guess in the early 80s, we sort of moved into the computer age and started entering all this data in the computer, and you sort it back and realize I got 7 people at this one address requesting assistance. And, you know, those are rare instances. Most people are absolutely needy.
It is, and that's, you know, you're going to have a few in any program, take advantage of it. But you have to think about the ones that really need help, and you can't just stop the program because of a few.
Right. This program has, I think you mentioned, has been around for like 40 years in Tullahoma. Has a great history, because I think in the early days of Toys for Tots, firemen actually repaired old toys to give to the children. Obviously that's changed over the years.
Right. Well, you know, toys used to be made out of metal.
Yeah.
And bicycles, you could buy a bicycle tire for $0.25. You know, now bicycle tires are $10, $12 a piece.
Yeah.
And toys are plastic. They're pretty much disposable. And then the other side of it is infectious disease. You know, we don't give away used stuffed animals or anything like that, because you don't know what could be in them. So all we give away is brand new. Most of it's still in the package.
Right.
You know, for that reason.
Right. Okay, so we've got, you actually distribute the toys when?
December the 23rd.
Right.
And we will be in the old Dillard's building, the north end, like we were last year. And everybody, of course, all the firefighters work very hard, long hours, weekends, whatever. A lot of them come in on their days off and work to get everything ready. We'll prepare a little over 300 boxes this year, I'm sure. and then they'll be ready to go. And last year we did not have a single person complain about anything. They were all very appreciative. It was a great year.
Right.
And you know, of course, the people of Tullahoma make it happen.
Right.
Because with their generosity, we can do this. There's no taxpayer money used for this. It's all donations.
Okay, and if you'd like to be a part of that, again, stop by Fire Hall number 1 or 2, I guess, if you want to make a donation, right?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
or call us and we'll come get it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And John Gray and I are going to throw out one more thing. If you or a group or anybody out there, if you can raise us $500 to give to Toys for Tots this year, then we will dig up that old footage of Richard doing Hunk of Burning Love and play it on this show. Okay. All right. Okay, Richard, thank you so much for all you guys do, and
Thank you.
I know you're going to have a great campaign this year, and we look forward to it.
Remember, fire season is coming. Check your heaters.
Good point.
Change your batteries. We change the clocks, so change your batteries and your smoke detectors, and let's be fire safe all the time.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, we'll be right back in just a moment with more living right after this.
Modeled our facility. Our family-friendly birth center features private labor, delivery, and recovery suites. For every stage of your life, we're there for you. The Women's Center at Harton Regional Medical Center.
Get Tullahoma's news first, fast, and free with Tullahoma's News Leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Jimmy and Jenny bring you local weather, sports, community calendar events, birth announcements, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Tullahoma's news, get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
When you see the sign, The Main Event, take a close look inside at a hair studio that offers services by some of the best master stylists in Middle Tennessee. These stylists offer a list of services that compete with large city salons, from trendy cuts for men, women, and children to the latest color techniques, including highlights and bold color accents. Other services offered include permanent hair weaving and relaxing to formal hairstyle for that special occasion. You can also give yourself a very special treat with a full makeover, including full body waxing. For your convenience, we are open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until the last client leaves happy. Call and make your appointment at 931-571-8682 or stop by our Tullahoma location at 207 North Jackson Street. Pamper yourself at The Main Event today.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As you all know, I'm sure that last Friday was Veterans Day, celebrated all across our country. There were several events that occurred here in Coffee County, one of which was the city of Tullahoma's honoring veterans at the event center in Tullahoma. By the way, there was also another event in Manchester. Both of those events are being shown in their entirety here on Charter Channel 6. But we want to take you now to the Tullahoma event at the Tullahoma Event Center, and Mayor Lane Curley has a few words for the veterans.
Appreciate all of our men and women that have been here today to make this a special celebration for all of our veterans. When I arrived here this morning, a friend shared with me some information that I want to share with you. His grandfather served in the military during World War I, and father, military in World War I, and And he shared with me a transcription of the diary that his father kept. And this is a transcription here, and it starts on August the 9th and August the 28th, November 9th, November 11th. And this is what his father said in his diary on November the 11th. We were put over a barrage, but on the way we got lost and went in no man's land. Backed out, went to our position, was too late. The Germans started shooting artillery at us. We stayed in trenches. It was foggy. At 10 o'clock, the lieutenant came and said hostility would cease at 11 o'clock. At 11 o'clock, all guns stopped firing. When you take part in America today, you build a better America for tomorrow. And when you honor those who gave their yesterdays in defense of our country, you honor the best of what men and women can be. And when you give your dedication and devotion to the commitment of being a citizen of this country, you make America a living memorial to their service and to their sacrifice. The liberties we enjoy are precious gifts, protected only for the moment, and require a constant vigil. They will most certainly be lost should we ever turn our backs on those who served in our defense. Today we will attempt to deliver remarks that do justice to the deeds of both the living and the dead. Veterans Day is meant to be commemorated both solemnly and joyfully, a day to renew our collective pride and to rejoice in our freedom, a day to remember our glorious and costly heritage and to make it work for even a more glorious and prosperous future. Today is our opportunity to salute the men and women who have served or are serving in the armed forces to preserve our freedoms, and the men and women who died serving our country. There is not a person in our great country who has not been touched by a friend or family member serving in the armed forces and are now enjoying the freedoms those friends or family members defended. Who are our veterans? They're men and women who feel an extra heart tug when the flag goes by. They love peace because they know the price of war and the price of freedom. They will always remain America's most honored citizens. I urge all Tullahoma citizens to participate today, each in your own way, in this day of remembrance and recognize our veterans. They deserve our salute. America, home of the free, the cause of the brave. Thank you.
Citizens Tri-County Bank has the checking, loans, savings, and traditional banking services you want. Plus free internet banking and bill pay, bank your change, Visa gift card, and lots more state-of-the-art banking services. We focus on the service and services you want, so you can bank when, where, and how you want, at our offices or from just about anywhere. Citizens Tri-County Bank, the only community bank you'll ever need.
The highest standard of trust offers a sense of safety and comfort. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of trust in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
This is for my daddy and the chips. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what's so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
At Charter, we're connecting military families with free webcams and the fastest, most reliable internet speeds. Get your webcam at charter.com/canyousee.
I miss you, Daddy.
Welcome back to Just Plain Living. I'm Lauren Foster, late on the set today. I was at the radio station. You should listen to Fantasy, our media partner. And I have the pleasure of being here with Dr. Lawson.
Hello,
how are you?
Great to be here.
Good to see you. It's always fascinating when you're on our show.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
And we were talking before, we always talk before the cameras come on about this, that, and the other. And we were talking about correcting my sleepy eye, not sleepy eye, lazy eye.
Right.
With chiropractic and
other things.
Other things.
Yes.
Other mysterious things.
The key to brain health is increasing what's called neuroplasticity.
Huh?
And so you're probably like, what the heck is that?
Completely, and I bet most of our viewers are as well.
Okay, you know when you exercise, you warm up and you got to stretch and you can't touch your toes?
Right.
And then as you do it, you get more and more flexible. Well, neuroplasticity is the flexibility of your brain. Our brains can actually form new neural connections and heal.
Awesome. So
they did not know
brain.
that before. Now it can be done. It's just difficult. It's challenging.
That's awesome.
So
but at the same time, you were telling me that you're increasing your IQ.
Yes. There's these things called iLights. I have them at my office. I don't use them very often, but I do. They were developed for athletes to increase performance.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm
it's
coming
pretty
to
cool.
see you. I'm coming to check out the iLots and exercise for your eyes.
And then the other thing is, I had a patient who fell asleep and cut off circulation to his brain, which he kind of had a stroke, right? So he could not work a puzzle if he was sitting down. He had trouble doing that. And so I told them about, as far as, trying to get your brain healthy, you got to exercise your brain. One way to do that is just to sit on a balance ball. Now, sitting in that chair, you can kind of relax, right?
Right.
If you tried to do that on a balance ball, what would happen?
You'd fall over. I tried.
Yeah, you'd fall over. So your brain is constantly working. You're actually exercising the core muscles of your spine and your brain when you sit on a balance ball.
Now, I have done that, substituted my desk chair for a balance ball.
Yes.
I didn't know I was exercising my brain, though. I thought I was just exercising my gut.
It's fatiguing, isn't it, to try and do that? Well, when that patient sat on the balance ball, he could work a puzzle.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he was activating his brain by...
Yeah, he was stimulating something that was asleep, which allowed him to make a higher connection.
Awesome. That's just incredible.
Right. So that's exercise. That's brain exercise. Now you've got to feed the brain nutrients it needs.
Okay.
Okay? So you've got to, like fish oil and some other things. Also, what's very important as well, there's several steps involved. Exercise, we just mentioned, stimulation, flexibility, but you also have, and nutrients, you got to feed it the correct nutrients. But you have to remove the irritation. Say you have a splinter in your toe and it's infected, and you get antibiotics. What happens if you never remove the splinter?
It's just going to get...
It's going to get reinfected and reinfected, and you'll be on and off antibiotics. So a lot of the problems with patients today is they never remove the splinter. That's the splinter of their health.
Okay.
So one of the key things I like to do is try to identify that splinter and remove it.
And you do this with, you know intimately what part of the spine connects to what part of the body. So
yes,
if I tell you this hurts, you know exactly which part of my spine.
One adjustment in the spine instantly triggers a lot of different centers in the brain to respond.
Okay.
And it causes increased neural function. That's the adjustment part.
Okay.
Now the exercise part is sitting on the balance ball. Now, you know that if you run around the track to get in shape, you do it once, you're not going to get in shape.
Correct.
So chiropractic is more of a, like exercise. It's a way of life. It's a training. It's a retraining your spine to get it healthier and healthier. But you can augment that and get more out of your adjustments by doing some kind of balance ball exercise and also some other exercises. The balance ball part is very simple, though. All you have to do is sit on it while you're watching TV at night.
Right.
Then you don't suffer the negative effects of watching TV. I don't know if a lot of you out there have heard there are negative effects of sitting there watching TV.
No.
Like this channel right now. If you're watching, you need to sit on your balance ball while you're watching this channel.
And then you're exercising all kinds of parts of your body, including your brain.
Right.
All right. Now, this is not what we did. We just kind of went off on a tangent. Is this what you wanted to talk about today?
Sure, this is fine, because this also brings up a very key point. I was at a seminar, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and the seminar was balancing blood chemistries with vitamins. So you look at someone's, you run a blood panel, a very large blood panel, you look at it, and then you see there's clinical ranges, which is what the medical doctors look at. Then there are much narrower health ranges, which is what I look at. And so if someone's getting out of those health ranges, there's interventions you can make with nutrition to bring those back into balance.
So this is the holistic approach that you have at your practice, where
Right.
you're not just adjusting the spine, but you're adjusting every other part
I've been
of your
to
life.
numerous seminars on reading blood work and balancing it and all that stuff. That's not my point. My point is, there was a doctor there who had a presentation of a book she wrote, and what she talked about was something that used to be classified as a gastrointestinal disorder. Now they know it's an autoimmune disorder. It affects 1 in 100 people. It causes cerebellar ataxia, brain shrinkage, peripheral neuropathy, osteoporosis, irritable bowel, hypothyroidism, diabetes. It's 1 in 100 people it affects. 1 in 3 people are sensitive, and it's called celiac disease.
Celiac disease.
It is
Gluten allergy.
Yes.
Is it?
A gluten allergy.
I learned that last week on the show, I think.
Yes. I had no idea how serious that is.
Well, gluten is in everything, and I mean.
Well, it's in a lot of things. They use wheat as a filler.
Right.
You know, if you buy something in a box, it's like we got some kind of wheat in it.
And 1 in 3 people.
1 in 3 people are gluten sensitive. They're taught in medical school now, or at least the latest research I've seen, is 100. They're taught that it's 1 in 2,500 that are celiacs. The statistics now show it's 1 in 100.
Wow.
And there's a test you can do. There's the blood tests. There's a lot of false negatives, so you don't want to do the blood test. There's a stool test that you do where they look at the genes. They look at and guess what? The gene for celiac disease is the same one that causes diabetes.
Oh my goodness. So
if you have the gene, you've been exposed to gluten, you're not necessarily a celiac. You have to have a trigger. All those 3 things. It's like I was taught in microbiology. You know, for someone to get sick, you have to have the pathogen, you have to have the host. Those 2 are together all the time. Like we have pathogens on us right now. You also have to have the proper environment for the pathogen to overcome, you know, the defenses. So if that environment never happens, you know, those 2 live in together forever.
So how do you determine what the
triggers can be? The triggers can be having a baby, malnutrition, some kind of physical trauma,
injury.
An injury. Yeah. I had a patient on the show one time. I think she was on the show, Carolyn Landreth. She comes and speaks with me sometimes. She had been she's a diabetic, and she had been in intense pain when she came to see me for 20 years. She could barely close and open her hands. So I used nutrition and got her off gluten and adjustments, and she was getting better, a lot better. Her daughter talked her into having a bite of a cookie. Since it's an autoimmune disease, which I didn't know at the time, that's why I understand now that within minutes she couldn't close her hands again, just with 1 bite.
Wow.
So it reinitiated that autoimmune response. But see, with the techniques I do, we're like computers. You can deprogram bad programs, right?
Right.
So we can deprogram those programs.
Okay.
And then if you do not add that stimulation anymore, then you can get better.
Free and clear.
Amazing things happen for these people. Okay, it takes the average of 10 years for someone to get a diagnosis of celiac disease, because you're chasing all these different autoimmune diseases. You're looking at, you know, the doctors, they look at all these different things, and finally they check for that and find it.
Okay.
It can take years.
You're going to help us figure it out and give us
faster.
Top of our head to the bottom of our feet care, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Awesome. And when the people get off that stuff, their lives change. The brain fog lifts, the pain, the migrating pains go away, the energy comes back. It's amazing.
So fix everything through a holistic approach, starting with your spine.
Yes.
Dr. Lawson, Dr. Ed, our miracle man. There's the number. Call, make an appointment, get
Give
a
us a call.
consultation, and see how things go. And thanks for being with us.
Hey, you're welcome.
And y'all stay with us. We're going to be right back with more Just Plain Living after this.
Since 1985, Life Communications and Security has been a household word in Middle Tennessee, mainly because people trust and believe in Life Communications and Securities in the work they do. Led by owner Jeff Wooten, LCS has continued to grow and earn the support of their many customers. When we ask businesses and homeowners who they put their trust in, these are the answers we receive.
Tommy Anderton with Traders Bank. When it comes to security and communications, we call Life Communications.
For all of our security needs at First Vision Bank, we call Life Communications. Life Communications is a small investment for us to take care of our major investment.
Knowing this, why would you ever call anyone else for your security or communications needs? Call Life Communications and Security at 931-455-9016 or 1-866-535-9016. That's Life Communications and Security.
I'm Marley Matlin for the American Red Cross. In an emergency, infants and children can't always tell you what's wrong. Being able to read critical signs and knowing how to respond can make all the difference. The Red Cross offers infant and child CPR training, where you can learn how to recognize and respond to respiratory and cardiac emergencies. Visit www.redcross.org or call 1-800-HELP-NOW. Together, we can save a life.
Waiting around for things other people get right away just doesn't make much sense. Get high-speed Charter internet and enjoy downloads way faster than DSL.
You've heard of cross-pollinating. Well, folks, we're cross-advertising today. Got the Smokehouse up here. Want to remind you that we have those Smokehouse coupons on Tennessee Traveler every Monday night. It's a $26 value for only $10. You get to go to the mountain, and you can go get some of Jim's barbecue sauce. This is horribly, wretchedly, miserably, terribly hot barbecue sauce right here. And this is Fiery Burning Butts barbecue sauce. So you remember the Smokehouse and go up there and see JD and tell him I said hello. Tell him that we sent you up there. Guarantee you'll have a good time. Now, speaking about having a good time, we have a new exhibit over at the Fine Arts Center right now. It is an exhibit brought by Michael Bush, and it is called Celebrating Everything Musical. And you will not believe what Michael has done with musical instruments and how he has painted instruments and then painted paintings of the painted instruments that he painted. So, and he gives a very good, it started during the Dada period, and he gives a very good explanation of all of that. And you need to go see this exhibit. It's going to be up through December, and you can get in the Arts Center on Tuesday through Saturday from 11 o'clock till 5 o'clock, and if you need to give them a call down there, give them a call, and somebody will meet you to get you in. But it's a great exhibit, and let's go to the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center right now and Michael Bush.
It is an incredible collection of art. What in the world caused you to collect instruments, paint them, and then paint a painting of the painted instruments?
Well, John, it starts, believe it or not, in the early 1900s with an art movement called Dada. And the Dada movement, who Marcel Duchamp was the founder of, said all things are art. And he literally meant that. He would take found objects, sign them, and turn them into painting or art. I decided that there's a bit of truth to that. Everything is designed. It isn't just happenstance that a guitar looks like a guitar or wingtip shoes look like wingtip shoes. Someone figured out their function, but also figured out the artistic side to it. Now, we've forgotten that. We don't look at these objects anymore as anything other than what they are, a pair of shoes or a guitar or a violin. So my idea was to take the real object, abstract it, which is how the images are. They're painted abstractly, so that you'll now look at them differently than you did when you first saw them as purely a guitar. In other words, to rediscover them. Now, the second phase, the painting that you see that goes with it, is to show you how when an artist paints a tree, he's not trying to duplicate every leaf on the tree. What he's trying to do is give the impression or the expression or the image of the tree. So now I've taken the guitar as a shape, as an art form that was created by someone else. I've abstracted it, and now I've shown you the interpretation of how an artist sees it. Right. The next stage that I'd like to carry these to, if you go on Kickstarter, I'm trying to raise some money, and we've applied for a grant from the Tennessee Arts Commission, is that I want to take and do a small recording to go with each one of the pieces that has the sounds that they make. Whether it's a guitar or wingtip shoes, you would have wingtip shoes walking across hardwood floors, walking on marble, different things. Right. Now, the reason for that is that even visually impaired people can now come up and they can feel the shape of the guitar, feel the shape of the shoes. They can hear the sounds that they make, and they can become a participant in the art world just the same as people with vision. And it would enhance the people with vision seeing all of the different senses being used. Right. So that's where it started in the early 1900s, and this is where it's going into the early 2000s.
That's right. And you know, folks, one thing you can do to finish this project is come buy a piece of it, because Absolutely. Guess what? That's how artists fund the things that they do, is through your participation in art by buying a piece of art. And you can do that at the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center right here on Jackson Street in Tullahoma. Michael Bush, thank you so much for what you do and for sharing those things with us here in Tullahoma and the surrounding communities.
Absolutely appreciate the interview. Have a good day.
How can toys like these lead to a 6-year-old's death and leave another child permanently brain damaged? Because they're not toys at all. A safety message from your local fire department and this station.
Oh, there's my cat. Should I put her away?
Lighten it up a little bit.
How's this? Great.
Good. There we go.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors, and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Cove Lake, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Martin Weakley, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, Rugby in the Big South Fork, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
All right, folks, welcome back, and I'm proud to be with someone right here that I get to be with for a lot. Not as much as I'd like to, but a lot for 37 years. Be my lovely bride, Frances.
Hi, honey. Good
morning.
morning.
How are you? Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
I hear you're selling.
I am selling. I'm selling South Jackson Civic Center.
You're not going to sell me, are you?
No, you're in for the long haul.
No buyers. Maybe no buyers here.
Not for sale.
Not
invaluable. Yes. Yes, I am selling South Jackson Civic Center.
Okay.
Yes.
For Christmas?
For any time, but since we're looking toward the holidays, yes, for Christmas.
Okay.
We have some wonderful gift-giving ideas I'd like to talk with you about this morning.
All right.
All right. As many of you know, I hope, we have a museum in South Jackson, the Mitchell Museum. And many years ago, the Mitchell Museum put together a wonderful book titled Historic Tullahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And this book is full of great information about the formation of Tullahoma. It has lots of pictures, and I would just encourage anybody who would like to know more about our community to come by and pick up a copy of this. It's a wonderful gift, easily mailed, and if you like, we can mail it for you.
Dude, look, that's downtown right there.
Mm-hmm, downtown Tullahoma.
Old downtown.
Old downtown Tullahoma.
There's some great photographs here.
Yes, and it's just, again, so interesting. It covers our schools, our churches, the development of the railroad, Camp Forest, just all kinds of history. And again, many people, I think as we get older, honey, we're more interested in our roots and our
Camp Forest
heritage. So this is a great book.
It is a good book.
And you know, a lot of people who lived here are looking back into this book, but I think it would be also a gift, a great gift for a child, because they want to perhaps have their interest in history piqued. So
what does that book cost?
It's just $20.
Really?
Yes, and needless to say, we have a copy, and I see something new, I love to look through it, and I'll start looking. It's kind of like looking at an old yearbook, and you just study it, and you learn something each time you go through.
Well,
so
it's always good to know a little bit about where you are.
That's right, and what's been, and helps you plan for the future.
That's right, it sure
so
does.
Historic Tullahoma is a great gift idea.
Very good.
Also, on the table here, we have two gifts. We are cooperating with the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center, and there's a really beautiful ornament that was made, and it is just $10. As you can see, it says South Jackson Civic Center, and it's a 3D relief, and it's just lovely. And it comes in a little stand, so you can use it on a tabletop, or if you would like to hang it on your Christmas tree. It has a hook and a ribbon, and for a lot of people in the community, South Jackson has been part of their life for a long time, or it's just becoming a part of their life with more and more families and children getting involved in the theater and the music there. So that is a great gift to give, and again, just $10, and that is shared between the Tullahoma Fine Arts Center and the Civic Center.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know exactly how those were made, but it's not a polymer, it's a bone or a stone type material that is ground up, and they reform it into these things. So it's a very nice, sturdy piece of stuff.
It's a very nice ornament, and I think it would be great to have in your home to show your commitment and your memories of South Jackson. So that's a great gift, and that would.
You ladies could even put a chain around that and wear it as a brooch piece or a centerpiece on your.
Absolutely.
Around Christmas time.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well, I think I'll
key
just.
fob.
Might be kind of big for that, but yes, you could wear it if you wanted to. So, in addition, we have this book. This is, I'm going to put it back, South Jackson Goes Cooking. And it has a collection of wonderful recipes that have been put together. And there are recipes from all kinds of friends of South Jackson. Some of them have gone on, and some of them are still among us. Usually I need help when I cook, as you know, and I like to be able to call someone and say, hey, what does this mean? Where do you get this ingredient? What's this method recommended?
Right.
So there are people right among us we can call, or their children, if they're the person who originated the recipe is no longer with us, we can just get back with their family and say, how's this supposed to look? How does this taste?
So each one of the recipes here then has a phone number and or whose recipe it is.
Right, and we can probably track it down.
Yeah.
And last but not least, I think this is so important. We have, can you guess what I have in my hands here?
Take a ticket, take a seat.
We have tickets We have tickets for a very special performance that opens on December 9th in the Civic Center. These tickets are on sale now at the Civic Center. We have performance on the 9th, as I mentioned, as part of our educational outreach series. And this year's Christmas offering is The Christmas Gift, which was written by Colleen Saunders and Melissa Sharan.
Two locals.
Yes,
Very
and
good.
it is based on a Ukrainian folk tale, The Spider's Gift. It's a wonderful story about how a family celebrates Christmas when they maybe don't have a lot of resources, and how the spiders help them celebrate along with neighbors. And I understand that we're going to be on stage briefly to help the family celebrate. And
I'm bringing the sweet potatoes.
That's right, John's bringing the sweet potatoes. I won't tell you what I'm bringing.
You're bringing me.
That's right. So the Christmas Gift, as I said, is on December 9th. We have 3 performances that day. The 9 o'clock show has sold out, but we do have space available for the 10:30 show and the 12:15 show.
Okay.
Again, that's open to the public and is designed primarily for school-age children.
Okay.
I understand we're about out of time here.
We're just about out of time.
And but we do have a show then on Saturday evening at 7:30, December 10th, and Sunday afternoon, December 11th at 2:30.
That's right. So, folks, if you can't think of something really different and special that you want to give someone, don't forget about South Jackson Civic Center, because you can go down there and get an ornament, a cookbook, a history book, tickets, and you get to see Fran.
Right.
That's a gift in itself right there, folks. She's a gift to all of us, and we all love her, particularly me. And so we thank you, Fran, for being here with us this morning.
Thank you, and we
I'll see
look
you
forward to
later
talking
on.
with folks and making a very Merry Christmas.
Okay. We'll be right back with something else special right after these messages.
Hold on. You've got to hear this. I know. How'd I get so lucky?
Every call can be great when you're saving 35% or more. Join the millions who are already saving with Charter Phone.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
I had the great privilege last Friday of going to the Veterans Day ceremony at the Event Center and heard this phenomenal voice, Mr. Lloyd Smith, and I believe we're going to show his patriotic contribution to that ceremony.
Patriotic melody, Lloyd Smith. Should
I
I am thankful to be an American and to live in the greatest land of all. In a nation blessed with the very best, I will stand with my head up tall. I am thankful to be an American, to be part of a land that's free. I am thankful to God for allowing me to be an American. The price of freedom never has come easy, yet free is right, and right must stand the test. And even with her problems to beset us, our nation proudly stands among the best. I am thankful to be an American, to be part of a land that's free. I am thankful to God for allowing me to be an American. This is my country, land of my birth. This is my country, grandest on earth. I pledge thee my allegiance, America the bold. For this is my country, to have and to hold. My country 'tis of the sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside let freedom ring. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, from sea to shining sea. God of our fathers, whose almighty hand leads forth in beauty all the story band of shining worlds in splendor through the skies. Our grateful songs before thy throne arise. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of wrath are stored. He hath loosed the faithful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth forever in peace may you wave. You're the emblem of the land I love, the home of the free and the brave. Every heart beats true through the red, white, and blue, where there's never a boast or brag. But you'll all acquaintance be forgot. Keep your eye on the grand old flag. Hooray for the red, white, and blue. May it wave as our standard forever. The gem of the land and the sea. The banner of the right. Let evil remember the day when our fathers with mighty endeavor proclaimed as they marched to the fray that by their might and by their right it waits forever. I am thankful to be an American and to live in the greatest land of all, in a nation blessed with the very best. I will stand with my head up tall. I am thankful to be an American, to be part of a land that's free. I am thankful to God for allowing me to be an American, an And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I proudly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died and gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. I love America.
Salam. Salam. Ewa.
Rita.
Apa ya Pak?
Pa.
Mir.
Shanti.
Yep, Changyok di.
We all want the same thing.
Peace.
And Rotary clubs
Sola.
are making it happen. Through international scholarships for young people to promote peace and understanding around the world. Rotary. Humanity in motion.
All right. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away.
Y'all can join us.
I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, bye bye. I'll fly away. Just a few more weary days and then I'll fly away to a home where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. when I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away.
All right, good job. John Rickman's sitting up here with me today. I have known John for a long time. Not really since you were this high, but since I came to Tullahoma. How are you?
We taught together.
I'm so glad you're here. I know we taught school together, and you did guitar, and you came to classes sometimes to help out the music classes. So what's new with you?
Nothing particular. I'm retired now. I've had a career in teaching, then with selling real estate, and now I'm a full-time musician. Not really, but I enjoy playing music.
I know you do, and I love the fact that you picked I'll Fly Away to start out with, because I think that particular song has influenced so many people.
It does.
Did it influence you as a child?
You know, when I was a kid, I went to the Methodist Church in Chapel Hill, and there was the hymn books. I would look in the hymn books and see how songs were set up, how the lyrics went, how you know.
Is that kind of how you got inspiration to write?
And I would always look at some of the people who wrote those: Fanny Crosby, John Wesley, Charles Wesley, different ones, you know. And I thought, you know, it's nice to be remembered by writing a song, and whether mine will ever go on that long, there'll probably be some that hang around. But
and it was in your head to write even that far back?
Yeah,
you think?
I think early.
What was your first song that you ever wrote? Do you remember?
Well, I wrote some that probably really weren't much good at all. And I think my first song that I wrote that was like the ones I do now was Chapel Hill Light, the one about the Chapel Hill, you know.
Yeah, because you are from Chapel Hill. And
Chapel Hill, Tennessee, and let's do the Chapel Hill Light.
I think that would be fun. And by the way, he's part of Us Two and Him, which has appeared on the country show, and you guys are still singing.
Ralph Emery for a long time.
Right, Ralph Emery for a long time. All right, Chapel Hill Light.
I haven't had much warm-up, Peggy. So,
I'm sorry.
But that's all right, but we'll try our best. Many years ago along the railroad track one night, a man was walking home and held a lantern for his light. He never heard the whistle scream or the mighty engine pound. He never even knew it when that freight train ran him down. The engineer ran back in time to see the poor man die. But as he neared the tragic spot, a light rose in the sky. The lamp the man had carried was never found that night. Now the old folks say above the track his lantern shining bright. And still his lantern hangs over the railroad, watching every freight train go by. There's a ghost light over the railroad, shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Looking at the ghost light will make your blood run cold. It moves along the railroad track and haunts your very soul. A spirit holds a lantern high for all the world to see. For the old ghost light of Chapel Hill remains a mystery. And still his lantern hangs over the railroad, watching every freight train go by. There's a ghost light over the railroad, shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Shining in the Chapel Hill sky.
All right, I love that.
Thanks.
I love that. And you know, that kind of sets the tone for the ghost stories of Chapel Hill, doesn't it?
That
a little
particular story is in the 13 Ghost Stories of Tennessee book.
Yeah.
There's one in the library. It's probably a simplified ghost story book, but it's in all of the Tennessee.
I do. I love ghost stories.
Yeah, and we used to go to the railroad track. People from Tullahoma, was there. John Gray went there. My songwriter buddy over there, he went to Chapel Hill. Lots of kids did until they got real serious about the delinquency that was going on, and they drove the youth off. John, and they decided they were going to arrest anybody that went over there.
You think John did that? Was that
no, I think he was a good guy.
He was.
But it got to be a nuisance,
right.
I think.
So are you still writing?
Some, yeah.
What inspires you, John?
I don't know. Almost every songwriter sings about love. I mean, almost
Yeah.
every country artist, pop music, whatever. And
But you sing things like
yeah,
the
I've been
outhouses
married
running through the
44
interstate.
years, and I'm very much in love, and been in love for a long time.
And you
but
haven't written her a
but
love story?
I think there are other things to write about. I used to
Well, there
like
are.
to hear about the songs about Miller's Cave years
Yeah.
ago when I was a youngster, and about the Brown Mountain Light, about the many things. They might have had an element of love in there, but they had something.
They still had
little
a deeper story.
Yeah.
You're sort of a legend writer, I think. You know, you write about
I
legends
like to
and
think
stories.
something that's. I've written one. I'm not going to do it now because I haven't practiced it hardly at all. But there was my father in when I was a youngster and he was an older fella, he told me about a cave that was over just beyond the railroad track.
Yeah.
And it was called the Mary Ford Cave. And I said, Daddy, how did it get that name? He said, well, a lady drowned her baby in that cave,
Ew.
which is morbid. I know that.
It is
but
morbid.
I sort of kept that in mind. And when
So
I
you're
worked
writing
on
a song on it
when I
now.
worked on the farm, I went over to that cave and looked in it, and I didn't see anything special about it.
And you did verify it's a real story. It's a true
There's
story.
a lady from the Marshall County Historical Society. I asked her if she'd look into it and see if there's any truth to this old story my father told, and she said, yeah, it was 18.
You know what? We're going to have to ask you to come back and finish that story and sing that song for us
We'll do it.
on one of our upcoming shows.
That'd be good.
John Rickman, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
I love it.
Look around, the changes catch your eye, and you come to realize one can make a difference.
Since 1915, Kiwanis International has touched millions of lives. When you help one child, you help the world.
But one can make a difference.
I know.
We're back.
We're back.
We've got
I was
30
gonna-
seconds.
Later
We got
and we're
30
back.
seconds to say goodbye.
20 now.
Goodbye.
20? It's time to go.
Don't forget to do your Christmas shopping at South
yes,
Jackson.
and don't forget to do Christmas shopping at South Jackson, and then the buy small. Remember
Buy
that?
small.
Buy small.
And goodbye.
And have a nice
This is
week.
a large goodbye.